Well, good evening and welcome back to Make Our World Your Runway. And of course, many of you know that this show is just not about pageantry, but it's about modeling, talent, the entertainment industry, and even if you're in business. But today we're going to do something a little different, okay? Many of you know that I've been in the entertainment and also in the pageant industry. But for 27 and a half years, I also worked in the cosmetic industry. I worked with many of the major cosmetic lines, including Lancome, Estee Lauder, Chanel. In fact, I was Lancome's trainer for 12 years, and I also consulted with Sephora. So we have a very special guest today who's going to tell you all about the company that she works for, Rodan and Fields. She's a skincare perfectionist. So I'd like to welcome as my special guest today. Please help me welcome Betsy Miller from Rodan and Fields. Welcome, Betsy.
Hi.
How are you, my dear?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Don't mind if I'm a little hoarse today, allergy. So I apologize, but we're so
Okay.
happy to have you on the show. And
Thank you.
this is going to be great because as you know, I spent many of my years in the cosmetic industry and I'm very familiar with Rodan and Fields, especially when I worked with Estee Lauder. So
Yeah.
you're here today and I want you to tell our viewers all about what you do, how you're changing the world with skincare. So here you go. Make our world your runway.
Oh, thanks. I will. Okay. So first of all, anything I say today is just my opinion, doesn't reflect Rodan and Fields in any way, shape, or form.
Correct.
I was just thrilled with my results when I was looking for eye cream in my early 40s. I started seeing the signs of aging and was really on the hunt for a good eye cream. And the things that I had used, they weren't they weren't making the cut. So should I say? um,
That always happens in this industry.
it
That
does.
happens totally.
Yeah, so I mean, some products work for some, and some don't for others. But so I
Exactly.
was really on the hunt, and I even bought some. I even fell for a gimmick on TV that was an eye cream that had crushed diamonds in it. So I thought, oh, I'll try that, and it didn't work. So my best friend had started her Rodan and Fields business. We're independent consultants, so we don't necessarily work for Rodan and Fields. We share the products independently. And I had talked to her about it, and she was like, you really should try these eye creams. And so I said, okay, fine. So I did. And for 2 years, I used the products. I saw the change in my skin, the texture. I got my lashes back, brows back. My skin wasn't dry anymore. And then I was like, well, she kept telling me, you're sending me so many referrals. You could use this business. You could be, earning commission and getting a huge
Correct.
discount. So that's when I jumped on, and I jumped on February of 2020, which we all know what happened after that.
Tough
Uh,
year.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And so I was a little nervous and a little skeptical just because, these at-home businesses, most of them, well, I guess some people just don't, it doesn't fit for them, and it's not a get rich quick thing. And I think some people go into it thinking, I'm going to sign
Yes.
up and I'm going to get rich quick. And it happens for a very small group of people. But I think for me, the difference was I was able to offer people skincare products that were clinically proven to work,
Right.
backed by practicing dermatologists and scientific ingredients and properties and all that stuff. And, that and the business opportunity is you just can't put a price on it, and
No.
so that's it. My mission is to do that. And I know, like in 2020 and in 2021, a lot of people had to kind of reinvent themselves, and figure out different
Exactly.
ways to do different things. And I think also too, there was more of a not so much as a reinventing, but more of a like looking at what you're doing, and is it fulfilling your purpose? Are you really helping people? Are you, is it making you feel happy or helping others? And through Rodian and Fields, this platform has led me to work with Miss North Carolina, Victoria Huggins.
Right.
We're doing
Yes,
Walk
I
10
know what it is.
Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Yeah. So through that, I love that. It's just, it's just been amazing. And for a stay-at-home mom who has homeschooled, her kids, and I've been a military spouse. My husband recently retired, so I've been a military spouse for quite some time, and we've traveled to Japan and Alaska. We lived on the West Coast, we lived in the South. Now we're back on the East Coast, and it's just been a nice way to be able to take this platform and share it and do something that didn't require me to leave my home and go away from my kids or my husband. So
Exactly. And one of the things that you're doing, and I'm so glad you're on the show because I want a lot of my models and my pageant girls to hear this. And I used to tell this to my clients continually when I was in the cosmetic business. I used to tell them, look, you can wear all the cosmetics you want in the world. Okay.
right.
Color is color. Whether you wear it very subtle or you wear it like me. But one of the things that people do not realize is that if you don't have good skin, and
Mhm.
I used to tell a lot of the women that came to the counter, including men as well, your face is your canvas. It's like having that little black dress. You can always accessorize. But if your skin is not in good shape, you
Mm-mm.
can wear all the cosmetics you want, but it's not going to do anything. You can't hide those blemishes. You can
Yeah.
only camouflage it for a certain period of time. And I mean, I worked in some of the top doors. I worked Bergdorf Goodman. I worked Saks. I worked Neiman Marcus. I
Mhm.
worked Nordstrom. And you'd be surprised. Even celebrities
Yeah.
used to come in, and I mean, I had Raquel Welch was one of my main customers. I even had Countess von Doe from Sweden,
Oh,
and I
wow.
think the reason why I had those clients is because I was very honest with them. I
Yeah.
didn't sugarcoat anything,
Yeah.
and because they were a celebrity, I wasn't going to treat them any different than my regular customers. So I treated them the same. And what I like about Rodan and Fields is something I believe in. They have a program where you can do samples. So a
Yes.
woman can try something, and if she likes it, then she can target that particular product. But if she doesn't like it, she can move on to something different. So that's what I want you to explain to our viewers exactly how Katie Rodan and Kathy Fields really built this business.
Oh my gosh. So their story is absolutely incredible. And I emailed you the
Yes,
story that
I
I
have
had
it.
taken from all that, the research. They started, they wanted to make a difference. And on top of the samples, before I forget and get sidetracked, we also have a 60-day money back guarantee. So if for any reason you have the products and maybe it's the wrong product, or,
Right.
you just want to try something different, and whatever, you can package everything together. You don't have to, it's not a one size fits all thing. It's very customizable. And even though we have a less than 1% return rate, most people don't return their stuff, but it is there in case you need it. So yeah, so Katie and Kathy Rodan started this business because Katie actually had struggled with acne herself, and
Wow.
they were seeing. So when they started, the acne piece of the pie was very, very small. And so when they brought their products, Proactive, to the world, when they were trying to get licensing and stuff like that, uh, people were just like, no, that acne is not that big of a piece of a pie and anything. And then they took that and went on and just blew it out of the park. I think in there, I told you that they brought their stuff to Neutrogena, and Neutrogena
Yes.
finally listened to them, but decided to go on. And they were really frustrated because they had kind of shared their secret sauce, but you know, I mean, even with the non-disclosure statements, they were like, they were afraid that they had just kind of given their cards away. So within the next 3 years, they outsold Neutrogena, and by 3 times globally.
Excellent.
So yeah, the products are like second to none. In fact, we were, according to the Euromonitor, we were the number one premium skincare brand in North America for the last 5 years standing. So it's good stuff. And people,
Yes.
the great thing about the business part is, you know, when you're starting a business, you have to get a product, you have to get packaging, research and development, marketing,
Takes a lot.
system, everything. You know, it takes a lot to get that going and get it off the ground. Becoming an independent consultant with Rodan & Fields, you pay a very small a small fee. It's less than $100, and then you also have the opportunity to then build your own skincare package, and they give
Right.
you a phenomenal discount, right, for your very first purchase order. And from there, there's an app. We have back offices. We have I swear we have the best customer service, because even when you have a consultant problem, you know, if I have something like just the other day, I had a customer who had she had a reaction, an allergic reaction to one of the products.
Which can happen. Yes.
Happens. Yep. And so she called me and she said, you know, this isn't working for me right now. And I said, no problem. Let's get you on the right one. So we went with a different regimen, and I called our corporate office and I said, this is what's going on. And they said, okay, no worries. Send it back. And, you know, she had the reaction, so it's not going to be any charge. I was willing to pay the fee to have it sent back, because, you know, I want my customers to be happy. I want everybody to be as happy with the products as I am.
My sentiments exactly. If you're happy, that's what keeps your customers coming back. Perfect.
Yeah. And so we were able to get her return quickly refunded and get her on the new products. And so, you know, it's that, having that community, that kind of backup, that kind of support really makes our job sharing the products so easy, you know. And so many people, because of everything that's been happened over the last 2 years, everybody's online. You're sharing recipes, you're sharing, you know, coupons and clothing and outfits and makeup tips, beauty tips, you know, pageantry, everything went virtual.
Everything is virtual. Everything.
Yeah. And so, you know, if you're sharing things like, if you're sharing anything online, then you can become an independent consultant and share these products with people. And the thing that I've found is that you just really never know who is going to jump on and really go for it. So, for example, my sister-in-law, Amy, she's one of my business partners. I never shared the product with her. I don't know why. I just never did. It never just came up. She came and visited me, and we were talking about it, but I was still fairly new. I was only about 4 months into the business. And she said, because a lot of people say, oh, you know, Rodan & Fields is so expensive. And it does cost, but first of all, it lasts a long time. So you don't need a whole lot. You really don't need a whole lot. So your money goes a long way. And because of the payment options that we have, really anybody can get the skincare products that we need.
And let me interject something there. You're right about that. I remember when I was working in Bergdorf Goodman, and there was a line called La Prairie. Okay. La Prairie had, this jar was about this big. They called it the caviar. $500 a jar. Okay. What it did for the skin was absolutely amazing. But you use that much of it. Okay. Yeah. It cost, but here was the thing. That jar would last you 6 months, but the results that you would get were absolutely fantastic. I mean, there were lines out there that people never heard of. And that's what I think makes Rodan & Fields so unique. Yeah. Because when you go through the department store, you're not going to see them.
No. Okay?
And believe it or not, there's a lot of lines in department stores that you don't see. They're either in specialty stores or they are selling online. Okay. But I remember Rodan & Fields being with Estee Lauder. Yeah. And I always wondered what happened with that, because Lauder was such a big company. I mean, at one time, they practically owned the cosmetic industry. Yeah. So what was the reason why they left Estee Lauder?
So they left, they wanted to, at the time they were in Nordstrom's, and yeah. And Estee Lauder they owned Rodan & Fields. And so the doctors really wanted to because everybody was coming in, and that was in 2007-ish. Yeah, it was in 2007. So
Right.
everybody that was coming in, because we were, in the recession and this and the other thing, the department store retail, traffic was declining rapidly. And
Totally.
everybody that was coming in because their friend Sally had told them, their friend Susie had told them, somebody's husband told their wife about this, that cousin, whatever. It was all word of mouth. And so they knew that they wanted to buy it back because they were paying so much to have their products within the retail. I mean, that's not cheap.
Oh, tell me about it. I know what Lancome used to pay
Yeah.
just for the counters, just to be in the store. Astronomical.
Yeah. And so they're really, the people weren't coming except the ones from word of mouth. And so they talked to their top product educator, Chris Fairless, and they told her, they said, okay, we're pulling out of retail. And she was like, what? But because she essentially was losing her job. But here's the crazy thing. That's not what she was most concerned with. The thing that she was most concerned with was where she was going to get her products that have changed her skin.
Exactly.
And so that's when they said, okay, we're going to go into the direct sales. We're going to bring it, they call it consumer customer connect business model. And I thought that was really, when I read that, I was like, I really like that, because a lot of people have such a bad taste in their mouth for, multi-level marketing or direct sales or whatever.
Exactly.
Rodan and Fields is a completely different animal, like altogether. And so, they talked to Chris and they said, hey, this is what we're going to do. So they had a big, big meeting of all the minds and everything. And they got involved with people who had been in direct sales. And they went from there. Chris's daughter, Sarah Robbins, she joined. She joined her. They are the first two consultants, and I mean, they took it and ran with it. And Sarah was a teacher. She was a elementary school teacher.
Right.
Her sister, 10 years later, joined. She was also an elementary school teacher. I mean, the people. I think a lot of sometimes these kind of companies get put into a box where it's just stay-at-home moms.
Yes.
Yeah, and yes, there are stay-at-home moms that are doing this, but there's also, we have anesthesiologists, we have realtors, we have lawyers, we have other PAs, we have pharmacists, we have estheticians. Did I say nurses? Teachers?
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, you did. You've got
them all.
You've got them all. And what I like about this is, of course, the cosmetic industry always empowered women, but you are empowering women by doing this. This is a great service that you're providing, especially in the world that we're in today, where everybody's going virtual. Yeah. I mean, you've been on the cover of 100 Successful Women in Business. So congratulations. Yep. Congratulations on that. So this is a great service that you're actually providing. And it's so funny, because thinking about Estee Lauder, even though she came out at the time when brick and mortar was very popular, a lot of people don't realize how she got her start. She was turned down by Bloomingdale's, by Saks, by Neiman Marcus, even Bergdorf. One day she was walking through Saks and she had created a fragrance. She dropped it on the floor and the bottle broke. Oh. Everybody went crazy, even the store manager. Wow. That's how she broke into the business. So you see, she did do something very unique. And when I was in cosmetics, it's true. She pretty much had the corner market stone of cosmetics. You probably remember Prescriptives.
Yeah.
She had that skincare line.
Yeah.
And then she had Rodan and Fields. Today, I mean, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe she owns MAC as well.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, she's still out there. She's got so many, not as much as she did. Because remember, like you said, brick and mortar is not what it used to be. No. So Rodan and Fields is actually doing very well because of the fact that so many people want a good skincare line, but at the same time, they may not want to go into the stores.
Yeah. So, well, when they were doing their focus groups, initially, when they were doing their focus groups, because that they were really targeting acne, and acne, I think it was 3% or something, and that they were both convinced that they had the entire 3% was visiting each of their offices. And they weren't in the same office. They had two different offices, two different practices. And so, but they were convinced, they were like, okay, then everybody who has acne is coming to see us. And we have to do better because people didn't like the smell, the texture, the feeling, the results, nothing
That
was wrong.
happens.
So yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's just that's what they did. You know, they brought these products and change. I mean, when I see results for, I mean, we're posting results all the time, you know, but when I see the results of the people who have dark spots, one of my new Rodana Field sisters, I just met her at a little shindig that we did a couple of weeks ago. She showed me a picture of one of her customers who had a dark spot, and we released targeted dark spot corrector a couple of months back. It was gone. It was gone, and there was no halo effect. And
Wow.
because of that, she shared that with me, and I was like, I need that picture because I know somebody's going to ask me about that, you know? And so literally a couple of days ago, I went for a sleep study, and one of the sleep technicians, who was an older gentleman, he said, I have this dark spot here. Do you think? And I showed him that picture, and he was like, oh my gosh. He said, we're going to talk, you know? And so it's when you see the results, you don't even have to wait for your own results. When you see the results of other people, you're like, okay, this is something that I need to look into. And it's been a financial changer for most people, and definitely a skincare changer for, I think, everybody who's ever even tried it.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I believe they had started with Proactive. Am I correct?
They did. Yes. They took Proactive and made it $1 billion company. It was global.
Yes.
And then they sold that. And now they're just focused on Rodan & Fields. And we have everything from teen acne to adult acne and anti-aging, wrinkles, sunspots, sun damage, brightening, brows, lashes. I mean, you name it, we got it. And
yeah, I mean,
we have
got
something.
everything.
Yeah, we have something for everybody.
Which is great. Yeah, there's something for everybody. And what I like about this company is they actually give back to the community.
Yes.
And I believe that you do work with a few charities. Am I correct?
Well, I work with currently I work with the Alzheimer's charity. That's the one I'm most dedicated to, mainly because my grandmother she had Alzheimer's, and I was too young to really do anything or even realize what it was. But in my early 20s, I worked as a CNA, nurse's assistant in an Alzheimer's home, and I really had a lot of compassion for the residents that were there, and it was something that I wanted to do, is work with them in some capacity. And before I started Rodan & Fields, that was kind of where I was. Like, my kids were getting close to being graduating. My husband was getting ready to retire, and then it left me really thinking, like, okay, now what's for me? You know, like, what do I do? Do I go back to school and be a nurse? But then I like to help people, and I like to connect to other people that can help other people, you know? And so really I wanted to find something that I could help, but I could also have a platform to where I could network and give back and maybe start my own foundation one of these days, you know? I really wanted to do something like that. So currently my biggest thing is, you know, the Walk to End Alzheimer's. That's where my focus is with Victoria. But I also help Jill Stewart with the China Rescue Dog.
That's great.
Yeah, dogs are my favorite. She helps the dogs off of the meat trucks, you know, wherever they're held captive and stuff. So yeah, she does a really good job there. So I help her occasionally with donations and raising money and stuff. But yeah, Rodan & Fields has just given me more than good skincare and more than a couple extra bucks in my pocket. It's given me the confidence to take what my message is and, you know, share it with the world. And maybe this is something that somebody could do, but maybe it encourages them to do something else, you know, because it's not necessarily just all about, you know, becoming an independent consultant with Rodan & Fields. Maybe you find your passion and you know, start a foundation of your own or become involved with your local community or whatever. This has just really given me, there's been so much personal development that's happened over the last couple of years. And the community. So in December of 2020, I was diagnosed with lymphoma, and normally, like, that would, thankfully, it's not an aggressive cancer, so that's good.
Thank God.
Yes, thank God. And because that isn't so, aggressive, I'm able to continue to do things and help, like with Lash Boost, people who lose their hair and their eyebrows
Yes,
because of chemo. We have a product that can help them grow their eyebrows back, grow their eyelashes back, and so that
that's amazing.
yeah, so that becomes something that I can pour into, and I can say, listen, I have this. I had some skin cancer on my face that I had to have removed, and because of 𝐒𝐿, the products, the fluorouracil that I had to put on my face, the
Right.
damage that it did, 𝐒𝐿 was able to repair it. So it's just, I have found such, when I was really looking for something and I was really struggling to figure out, what does a stay-at-home mom do, in her 40s now, what do I do, and
Right.
I found what I could do that meets all my needs, and then hopefully I can meet the needs of others and serve others, and then
No,
hopefully glorify God.
that's absolutely fantastic. And if they have a product like that, that's absolutely amazing because it's
Yeah.
not only cancer. You have people that are on certain heart medicine, like myself.
Hmm.
You'd be surprised what medicine over the years will do.
Right.
Okay. And
Hmm.
luckily for me, I still have had a hair, but I've noticed my eyebrows have gotten a little weak, and that's just all due, not my lashes, but my eyebrows. And that's due to the medicine that I've taken. Okay. And if you have a heart condition, that just goes with the territory. So it's great that they have a product like that.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, what are the future plans now for Rodan and Fields?
Oh my
And
gosh.
and when you mentioned scholarship, I think something we could work on, because I mean, I've donated money this year to a lot of different organizations, especially children's organizations, because I'm one of these people. I have a heart when it comes to children and animals.
Me too.
Don't hurt them. Don't double cross me.
Right.
That's when the other
Exactly.
side of me comes out.
Right.
But many years ago, I had a scholarship program for our teens where they could go to college. Okay.
Hmm.
And maybe that's something that we could work on, the Miss International World Scholarship Program, where these women are getting good skincare, they can work, and at the same time, they're earning a little money towards their education. But like I said, what is on the books and what is the future for Rodan and Fields?
Oh my gosh, the future looks so bright for Radiant Fields and for the consultants that are already within it. And yes, you and I can talk. There's millions of different ways that we can get your girls and your organization involved. And I would love to lead the charge on that and help you with that. Um, but we just launched new programs where people can earn, there's so many things, like you can earn additional cash bonuses. New consultants can earn up to $800 on just in cash bonuses in their first 4 months, which
Wow.
that's huge. So people who have weddings coming up, babies coming up, and it's literally for anybody who's doing it. We have women, we have college students, we have women who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. I have a lady on my team who's in her late 60s, and she's sharing these products and making a difference in people's world. But we have new programs. We have a new app that makes everything so much easier. We've got new before and afters. I've heard there's a new product that's going to be released
Great.
soon. So yeah, I mean, the future looks bright for Rodan and Fields, and Katie and Kathy are going to take, their goal is to be number one. So these ladies are not stopping anytime soon.
No, it doesn't seem like it. I mean, when you can come out of get away from a company like Estee Lauder and become a multi-million or billion-dollar company without even being in a brick and mortar store, you have
Right.
to be absolutely fantastic. And
Yes.
what's so great about this is, because you're right, people today are looking for things to do from their home. This
Hmm.
is a fabulous business. And especially if you have knowledge about the skincare and cosmetic industry, sky's the limit. You can take it to the
Absolutely.
top. I mean,
Right.
if I did it, and the days of when brick and mortar were in, I mean, I ran Lancome in New York. I had $1 million business.
Yeah,
Okay.
I bet.
So if I could do it back then, I'm sure people today can do it. But do you have any closing remarks? Anything you want to say to the viewers?
If you want to get in touch with me, I would be, happy to give you my information. And yeah, I mean, you can do something different to make a big difference in the world. And if it happens to be Rodan and Fields, I'm happy to help anybody who has any questions or anything. And the great thing is, you don't have to know anything about skincare.
Well,
I only washed my face consistently, but I really didn't know about skincare. So, but now I do, and I'm happy to share it. And I'm excited. I'm excited for my future with Rodan and Fields, and I'm excited for the future period.
that's funny. Did you ever watch that movie, The Devil Wears Prada?
No, I haven't seen it. It's on my list of things to watch.
Watch it.
Okay.
I started out, okay, going into the industry and didn't know anything. I started out like Hathaway did, okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The end of that movie, you can bet I became the Meryl Streep. I became the Meryl Streep. In fact, I walked into Bloomingdale's one time, and the store manager said, "Is the witch in today?" He didn't know I was standing behind him. I said, "You rang?" I said, "I just came in on my broom." "Oh, I'm so sorry." He said, I said, "You don't have to apologize." I said, "You're right." I said, "The witch has arrived." So watch that movie, because I started out as Anne Hathaway and turned around and became the Meryl Streep. So that's what that industry did to me. But
Yeah.
anyway, it has been such a pleasure to have you on the show. I know
Thank
my
you.
viewers are going to love this. You're doing fantastic things. I know you and I are going to definitely work together.
Yes.
So congratulations again on being on the cover for 100 Successful Women in Business. So very well deserved. And I know you're going to do great things for women. Keep empowering, keep staying on the right track. And thank you for making our world your runway.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you again.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, dear. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another fabulous success story. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll have another special guest. And remember, every Thursday, 7 p.m., make our world your runway. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you soon.